Welcome to a new Alfresco video. We are working today with the Alfresco content application, that is the new UI provided by Alfresco. It's built on top of Angular, so you need some basic skills on that before moving on. And we are today describing the full development process for a new extension. This take ownership extension will be a new action in the UI in order to take the ownership of a document or of a folder that is from some other person or from some other user in the system. This feature that was present in the legacy UI is a sample of some development process in order to include all that features in the new UI. So that should be interesting, that should be something practical, and we are going to see all the development process from scratch. So the first thing we need to do is to create our development environment. So I'm going to create some Docker deployment, so I can have the repository running in port 8080. I'm starting the Docker Compose now. We are interested in this repository running in port 8080, so we can develop with our ACA, with our Alfresco content application, and test all the different changes we are creating with a running repository. So after we have that repository running in port 8080, we are going to clone this repository, the ACA repository. Let's do that. And remember that we also need to include this configuration file on the root folder if we want that running locally. So let's do that. And we need the ACM host, that is the repository host, and in our case is running in port 88. So once we have this configured, we can install all the modules. So we have the environment ready to be run. Let's wait a bit till Docker Compose is finally running and listening in port 8080 until all the node modules are installed in our local development folder, in this Alfresco content application folder. Let's wait for it. Once of the node modules have been installed, and once that Alfresco repository is listening in port 8080, we are ready to start developing our extension. So the first thing is to generate the project, generate the library. We are going to name that take ownership. This will create a simple project, a simple module with the full scaffolding. So we have this prepared to start developing with the components, the service, and so on. So let's wait for it just a bit, and we can even check if that is building fine. It looks like this is going to work as expected, and after that we can even test if our development environment is working as expected, just starting the application in port 4200, that is it's connecting to this 8080 port. In the meantime, while this is compiling, we can open Visual code, and we can find our project. This one, yes, let me find this one. So we can see that we have the source code and we have this specific project, this take ownership. That is the one that we need to start developing our extension. So let's see if everything is working fine. It looks so. And what we are going to do is to develop our extension by using this development environment to test to extend a new action. And for that, you have this this documentation. So we are going to create a new action. For it, you have all the different information at this point with extensibility filters and so on. So you need to read something before going on with that. Let's see if that finally starts and we can validate that everything is working as expected. Okay, so let's wait for it. And if we use the credentials, we can see that everything is working. So we are ready to start deploying. So I will be coding a bit. And once I have the extension created, I will be back in order to describe the different features we were creating. So again, going back to work, and I'll be back. Okay, after developing for a while, I created the code for this take ownership module. So this is the main idea. We have the take ownership module that is a new action that is going to be added to different parts in the application. So this module is using the extension service in order to provide all the extension hooks with this JSON file. We are also using the translation service, so we can add all the internationalization messages using this assets folder for the configuration of the extension and also for the translation. And this module is based on an evaluator. The evaluator is deciding when the action is visible or unavailable, and is relying on some effect. The action effect is how the actions are implemented with ACA. So this effect is including a config.io component that is also something available in the framework, just to ask the user if he wants really to perform the action or to cancel that. The declaration of the action that is also extending from the actions of the framework, and finally the service. The service that is the one performing the real action by using the Node API service. This is the one connecting with the repository in order to perform this change. If we move to the source code, we can start with the module. As we were seeing on the diagram, we are using the extension service and the translation service in order to provide the configuration. The configuration is in the assets folder, is the take ownership. So we are providing the configuration for this new action with this take ownership action. And we are including that in the toolbar, in the context menu, and in the viewer. So this is the configuration, the declaration for the extension. We are also adding a translation folder with different messages we want to create for that. So we have this file that is the ACA take ownership action title, and also some other messages for the dialogues in English and also in Spanish. So with these assets and this folder, we are ready also to provide this feature to the module. And finally, we are adding the evaluator. We are also registering the effects. We are going to that later. And we are adding the evaluator. So in this one that is described at this point, we have this role context and we are applying some logic on it just to see if this is a node, this is a folder or a file, and if the owner is the one that is connected, then we are not going to show the action. And we have also some extra condition in order to provide this action only to administrator users. Finally, on the module, we have this connection with the effects module. We are declaring this. We are creating a new effect, and this effect is the one that is capturing the action. This is the action we declare with this name. So the effects class is capturing this specific action, and when this action happens, we are opening that dialog in order to get confirmation from the user to apply the action. And if we have that, then we can invoke to the service in order to perform the action. So if we want to the service, we have the action, and the action is just to use the nodes API service to update the node with a new property CM owner that is including the authenticated username. So these are all the different components that we created, and on that running system we can see that we have this take ownership action at this point on the context menu. We have also the action at this point, and we include also the action on the viewer. So if we move to that, the toolbar on the context menu and also on the viewer, and if we click the action, we can see that we have this confirmation dialog. If we say cancel, then nothing happens. But if we click on the take ownership, then that is happening, and the new owner for the sites folder is the admin user that was the one that was connected. So once our development stage have finished, we are moving to package this new module and to deploy that on a real world use case. So let's move to that. Okay, so once we have our development ready, remember that we have all the code living in this project's take ownership folder, and we have also some modifications to the original ACA application, like adding this reference or adding the assets on the Angular JSON file, and even declaring that inside the extension module TS. So we need to move all that information to an isolated space, so we can deploy that as an independent module on a default ACA application. So for that, let's create a new project, a new Angular project. So with a new ACA take ownership, and we are going to use this specific flag that is no create application, because we are only interested in the module that we are going to move from the existing source code. So again, let's wait a bit. This project is created. We are creating a new local project, a different project, to start from scratch and to bring the code we developed on the local ACA to this new project. So again, waiting a bit for it. Okay, perfect. So we have this new project, and now we can create again the library. Take ownership. And with that, we have again a base project in order to bring our code from the other development environment. So once we have that, we have all the modifications on this new project. We can build and pack all these new modules, so we can use that in our developments. All this information is based on the Angular official documentation, and also the final project is available in this ACA Take Ownership project. So this is mainly a regular Angular project with this specific module, right? And this module includes exactly all the different files we were seeing before. So the module and so on. So with that, we can install this module that only includes our specific, we can install the project including the specific module. We can just run that build take ownership script. We created this one, this build take ownership, that is building the project, but also copying the assets to the build. And we can then pack this code, or we can install that in npm.js, so we can use that as a regular package. So let's go and see how this is happening in our environment. You can clone this project in order to get the source code for this extension, and once you have that, you can just npm install in order to get all the different modules that are required. After that, we are going to build our module, our take ownership module. Okay, looks like everything fine. So let's build our module, this take ownership module. This is going to build the module and to copy all the assets to the final building. This is going to create this folder, and inside this folder, we are going to get all the resources for this module, right, with the assets and so on. At this point, we can just pack this module, so we have all the information available in this take ownership file, or we can publish the module, so we can upload this version to the npm.js registry, but we are going to work with this local folder by default, so we can just play with it on a developer environment. This project also includes a script, a tool that is able to install and uninstall the module on a default ACA application. So we are going to do that just to test that everything is working. So now we have the code we developed in this module, and this is packed as a new node project. So let's go to the script folder, and we are going to download a new ACA application and we are going to install the module we already created. Let's do that. And while this is running, is running the Alfresco application and so on. So this script, you can use something different, but let's review this one. So this script is downloading the application, is installing the package we created with the module name, with the extension file, and with the extension module. So we are downloading the ACA application, installing all the dependencies, and then we are installing the package we already developed. We are applying the modifications in the AngularJSON file. Remember that we need to declare some assets on that. We are also adding the extension to the extension module TS on the import section. Finally, we are also adding the reference at this point, at this as extension JSON. So with that, the application, the ACA application, includes all these changes, and we have some way of having an independent repository for our extensions and to deploy that on regular ACA application. In the same way, this scripts provides the uninstall function. This uninstall is uninstalling the module on Node.js and is reverting the change in the AngularJSON, reverting the change in the extension module, and reverting the change in the app extension JSON. So the application is produced in the same way it was before the module was installed. So let's see if that is working fine. It looks so, but it could take a while. So let's wait for it and let's test if that working as expected. Once the script has finished, we have a new Alfresco content application with the module deployed inside and with all the changes to the configuration. Remember also to include your env file so you can include your running Alfresco repository. So with that, let's test if that was deployed in the right way and if the feature is living on our ACA application with the module deploy and also with the configuration. After that, we are going to uninstall this module just to check that we have a method to deploy and undeploy external extensions or external modules from default ACA application. So let's wait a bit till the application is starting, and let's check that everything is working as expected. Remember also that I have this running 8080 repository, and in a bit we are going to have the application running in our local environment, in this case a default ACA application with the module deployed. So if we start that, it's starting. That seems to be fine. And if we click at this point, okay, that's perfect. So that seems to be running. Also remember that we have some customization for that. We have some resources. So if we change to Spanish, we have this also this different label for this action. If you want to provide more resources for that, just in your assets I18 and folder, you can add more languages for all the supported languages in the platform. But let's move again back to that. So the deployment script worked, and let's see if the undeploy. I guess that the option was uninstall. Yep, uninstall. So let's see if the uninstall option is also working. So now what is doing is installing the take ownership module, and after that it's reverting the changes we did in the ACA configuration. So with that, we are ready for it. And if we start now the application, then our option would not be available in the UI. So let's again wait for it. But with that simple script, you can deploy and undeploy. You can also create your own script or your own method. This is only an easy suggestion for you, just to control the deployment and undeployment modules in the ACA application. And remember that after that, once you have your Alfresco content application with all your customizations, then you can build that and create your custom Docker image. So you can also create different Docker images for your different configurations. So this will be like the whole cycle for the ACA application. So let's still wait a bit more so we can check that the application is right and that the module has been removed from the application. We are going again now to the browser, and if we click on that, then we cannot see the option, and again we cannot see it. So this is the default application without the module we already developed. So this was the full development experience for the ACA extensions. I hope that was useful, and let's see in future videos. Bye.